Well, it's the Halloween season again, folks, and after making a video on the scariest Disney animatronics, I figured it was time to go into some scary roller coasters. Now, I'm not talking about the ride experience being scary, I'm talking about the multitude of creepy roller coaster train designs. So as voted on by the fans, here are the top 10 creepiest roller coaster trains. Number 10. Frozen Coaster. What can I say about Frozen that hasn't already been said? It's one of the most famous animated films of all time, as well as a merchandising juggernaut. From cereal to paper towels to toilet seats, the franchise is pretty much everywhere. One of the most acclaimed property tie-ins is the Frozen Ever After ride at Florida's Epcot, but we're not talking about that ride. Instead, we're talking about a traveling coaster in Europe that may turn some heads. Built by Turkish manufacturer Guven Rides, this ride is owned by Scottish showman Rhys Wheatley. Using the standard Wacky Worm layout and design, this coaster trades in the caterpillar face for Olaf's grinning mug. It's unknown if Disney themselves signed off on this design, but either way, it has some truly unsettling qualities to it. Olaf is meant to be a small and charming snowman, but this coaster portrays him as a wide-mouthed, bug-eyed caterpillar with what appears to be a double chin. Plus, since when did Olaf have so many legs? Something about that giant, constantly smiling mouth makes the design especially creepy. Think about it this way, if you saw this in a dark room, you'd be creeped out too. So watch out everyone, the Olaf caterpillar is coming to get ya. Number 9. The Minor Mike model, made by American manufacturer Wisdom Rides. There are currently 12 of these roller coasters in operation, though not all are created the same. Some of them feature a tire lift and primarily run on gravity, while others are powered coasters. In addition, some Minor Mike models have an inconspicuous smiling train as the front car. It's simple, charming, and works well for such a small coaster. However, other Minor Mike models have a much more human-like face. The front car in this case portrays a bearded man wearing a mining helmet with a mock chimney on top. The lowered eyelids and full-fledged grin give him a somewhat menacing appearance, kinda like a mask you'd see in a horror movie. It's like he's hatching some kind of evil plan inside his head. That or he's totally baked. Now, a few people have told me this guy looks like Joseph Joestar from Part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and I could definitely see the resemblance. And with that, this video officially has a JoJo reference. Number 8. The Wacky Worm model. No roller coaster is more common than the Wacky Worm. Its layout is small, simple, and compact, which makes it both easily affordable and easily replicated. Believe it or not, there are over 400 Wacky Worms in operation. These include standard Wacky Worms and Big Apples, which feature a giant 30-foot apple tunnel for the track to pass through. These coasters can pretty much be found all over the world. They represent the only coasters in places like Senegal, Malawi, and the island of Sardinia, and there's even one that's literally right next to Mount Vesuvius. There's no doubt this worm is on the move. Still though, despite its popularity, you can't deny how awkward and creepy the train design is. While some Wacky Worms feature different train designs, most feature a big-mouthed, big-toothed caterpillar with the most meme-worthy smile you've ever seen. There's no questioning it scared plenty of children over the years. The lips, the teeth, the cheeks, the tongue, the eyelids, the missing tooth, all of it adds up to an unnerving design. And once again, the permanent open-mouthed smile doesn't help. If I saw a worm that looked like this, I'd probably run away screaming. Number 7. Wield Basin at Denmark's Sommerland Sjælland. About an hour away from the city of Copenhagen, Sommerland Sjælland is a small family theme park with plenty of rides for the whole family. The park features 3 coasters, including an SBF spinner, a Pinfari looping Zyklon, and of course, a Wacky Worm. But unlike number 8, this coaster doesn't feature the meme-faced worm. Instead, it has a giant cross-eyed clown head. Looking like something out of a Simpsons knockoff, this train design isn't exactly going to win over coulrophobes. With its green lips, red circled eyes, and yellow skin, this clown looks like it has some kind of rare skin condition, maybe jaundice mixed with a bit of radiation. In addition to what looks like fully plucked eyebrows, the fact that the eyes are looking in different directions gives this clown a laughing while smothering you with a pillow while you sleep vibe to it. Unfortunately, it won't be the only clown on this list. Number 6. Troublesome Truck's Runaway coaster at England's Drayton Manor. Thomas and Friends is one of the most cherished children's shows of all time. Naturally, the show's success would lead to a wide variety of theme park attractions based on it. You can find Thomas-themed lands at parks like Pennsylvania's Kennywood, Massachusetts' Edaville, and England's Drayton Manor. The latter park features the next coaster to make this list, Troublesome Trucks Runaway Coaster. Now in the show, the Troublesome Trucks are a group of mischief-making freight cars that love to pull tricks on the show's protagonists. These guys love nothing more than to derail the engines for being so pushy. Those troublesome trucks get the engines every time, and they put on exaggerated, distorted faces to mock them as they do. At Drayton Manor, these trucks have their own ride. Made by German manufacturer Gerstlauer, the ride vehicle portrays one of the many faces these characters make. This one in particular looks like the train is chewing gum, although we can infer it's a chortled ho 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 laughter. Those of you around the late 2000s internet days may draw a slight correlation to the famous troll face meme. Though accurate to the show, the design admittedly looks pretty off out of context, and the wrinkles on the face just don't look right. I also want to point out the irony of a roller coaster train being themed to characters that derail trains. Fortunately, Gerstlauer is a safe manufacturer, and no incidents have been reported on this ride. Number 5. Unnamed roller coaster at Malta's Popeye Village. In 1980, Disney and Paramount Pictures released Popeye, a movie based on the cartoon of the same name. As part of the film's production, a massive film set was set up on the coast of the Mediterranean island of Malta. This set portrays the fictional seaside village of Sweet Haven, and after filming wrapped up, local residents repurposed the set as a theme park. Nowadays, it still stands as a major tourist destination in the area. Naturally named Popeye Village, guests can visit various different locations from the film, and can even view shows with live actors playing the film's characters. At one point, the park also featured a few carnival rides for the kids. One of these rides was a roller coaster by defunct manufacturer Supercar. Though it only operated for around 3 years, that's still plenty enough time to serve as nightmare fuel. What we have here is a design similar to the standard Wacky Worm, but with cracked, bloodshot eyes. Just one look at this train reminds me of the time I spent nearly 24 hours cramming for my final exams in college. Can somebody please get this guy some Visine? While the Wacky Worm just looks goofy, this coaster seems to have a crazed, psychotic look on its face. And it really is worth wondering how many nightmares it ended up inhabiting. Number 4. Fruit-shaped Pulley at China's Oasis Happy World. With over 1,500 roller coasters in operation, China has more of these rides than any other country on Earth. But the one we'll be talking about now is Fruit-shaped Pulley. Built by an unknown manufacturer, this now-defunct coaster has a few weird features to it. First of all, there's this section of track, which from an angle looks like it would be impossible to navigate. Then of course there's the station building, which features crude drawings of Tom and Jerry characters, including one where Jerry is stretched out for some reason. Finally, there's the train. Dear Lord, look at those eyes. Who on earth thought it was a good idea to put bright red pupils on a children's coaster? This is one of only a few roller coaster trains on Earth I can say looks possessed. Seriously, this looks like it wants to inhale your soul. Somebody call Simon Belmont, because this thing needs some holy water pronto. Up next on our list of freaks is the Circus Clown model at number 3, made by Italian manufacturer Pinfari. Long ago, Pinfari was once a world-renowned leader in the amusement industry. Many early mass-produced steel coasters were made by them, and they even created the first permanent Wacky Worm. But this wasn't the only children's coaster in their resume. The company introduced the Circus Clown model. The layout is a simple, oval-shaped design with a giant drum that the train passes through. As for the horrifying front car, the way I'd best describe this coaster is that it's like something straight out of a Rugrats episode.
I'm not still.
The design of this coaster makes Basin look like an absolute teddy bear. From the cackling smile to the admittedly high level of detail on the face, this well-designed train is undoubtedly creepy looking. So if you have a fear of clowns, you're gonna want to avoid this one like the public avoided Burger King's Whopperito. Number 2. Family roller coaster at Ireland's defunct Fun Zone. Bray, Ireland is one of the largest urban areas in the country, with a population of over 32,000 people. It's especially notable for being the filming location of the hit 1995 movie Braveheart. What it's not as well known for though is having one of the creepiest roller coasters of all time. After a brief stint in the Netherlands, this coaster was moved to Fun Zone for the 2014 season. Now Fun Zone was a very small amusement park intended for young children. So, what conceivable chain of thoughts led to the decision to affix a distorted, petrifyingly disturbing sculpture of Pinocchio to the front car? What's most unnerving about this train, though, is that giant asymmetrical mouth which sports a psychotic, toothless grin. I'm sure the designers tried their best with the materials they had to work with, but there's absolutely no denying this ride's fear factor. If Pinocchio looked like this, I'd expect Geppetto to chuck him into the nearest fireplace. Number 1. The roller coaster at England's Bridlington Experience. On the shore of northeast England, a tiny amusement park once stood. Since it was around for such a short time, there isn't a whole lot of information about this park, and photos of its attractions are extremely rare. The coaster in question was reportedly unnamed with no signage. Also made by Supercar, this nautical-themed coaster features yellow track that encircles a large sailboat. And the train? Oh boy. I want you to look at this train and keep in mind that the manufacturer actually decided to release this to the public. Someone took a look at this decrepit cross between SpongeBob SquarePants and Sully from Monsters Inc. and thought, it looks good enough to me. Look at the eyes that pop out of their sockets. Look at that sloppily molded face. Look at the tusks that look like they were thrown on at the last minute. If any coaster was more deserving of a meme than this one, I haven't found it yet. Shortly after this photo was taken, the ride would close down for good, and nowadays a playground sits on the coaster's former spot. So if you visit this playground with your children, keep in mind that the spirit of this roller coaster may be haunting it. Thank you all so much, and if you want to support me on Patreon, I've put a link in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or you can check out my website at themeparkcrazy.com. This is Theme Park Crazy, and I'll see you all next time.